Have you ever felt like someone was watching you, or worse, that someone was lurking just beyond your sight? I've been haunted by 3 true stories that still send chills down my spine. Buckle up, because what I'm about to share is real, and it might just keep you up at night. Story 1. The Neighbor. It started last summer when my new neighbors moved in next door. At first, they seemed normal, just another family. But as days turned into weeks, I began to notice strange things. They never came out during the day. I'd only see them at night, their silhouettes moving in the windows, often just standing there staring out at nothing. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed my phone and decided to film their house. My heart raced as I pointed the camera at their darkened windows. Suddenly, a shadow flickered behind the glass. I froze. It felt like eyes were boring into me from within. The next evening, I heard a knock at my door. It was the father. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "We noticed you've been watching us," he said. My stomach dropped. I stammered an excuse about wanting to welcome them. He just nodded and left, but something felt deeply wrong. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing strange sounds from their backyard, a low thumping noise like something heavy hitting the ground. My curiosity got the better of me, and I peeked through the window. That's when I saw them. Digging. I grabbed my phone, shaking. I needed to document this. I hit record and whispered, "What are they burying?" Just then, the lights in their house flickered on. I saw them, 2 figures covered in dirt looking right at me. I dropped my phone and stumbled back in fear. The next morning, I mustered the courage to go outside. Their yard was empty. No sign of digging, no sign of them. It was like they vanished. But the police showed up at my door later that day, asking if I had seen them. They were searching for a missing family. I never spoke of it again. Story 2. The Road Trip. It was supposed to be a fun road trip with friends. We packed the car, loaded up on snacks, and hit the open road. The air was electric with excitement until we decided to take a detour down a deserted back road. That's when things took a turn. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the road. Suddenly, our car sputtered and died. No cell signal, no lights. We were stranded. After a few minutes of panic, we spotted a flicker in the distance. A cabin. We decided to check it out, hoping someone could help us. As we approached, the cabin seemed abandoned, but the door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit interior. Inside, everything was covered in dust. Old furniture, peeling wallpaper. We called out, but no one answered. Then we heard it. A soft humming coming from the back room. We exchanged nervous glances and tiptoed toward the sound. In the dim light, we found an old woman sitting in a chair, rocking back and forth. She looked at us with wide, hollow eyes. "They'll come for you," she said, her voice raspy. My friends laughed nervously, but I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Suddenly, we heard a loud crash outside. We rushed to the window and saw shadows moving in the trees. They were coming for us. In a panic, we bolted out of the cabin and sprinted to the car. The engine roared to life, and we peeled out of there. But as we drove away, I glanced back. The old woman was standing on the porch, waving goodbye, her smile impossibly wide. We never spoke of it again, but I still wonder, who were those shadows? Story 3. The Picture. A few months ago, I stumbled upon an old box in my grandmother's attic. Among the dusty trinkets, I found a photograph, a family portrait from the 1950s. I was drawn to it. There was something eerie about the faces, particularly one woman who seemed to look directly at me. I took the photo home, intrigued. But soon after, strange things began to happen. I'd hear whispers at night, and the shadows in my room seemed to shift. Then, one evening, I noticed something horrifying. The woman in the picture had moved. In the original photo, she was standing on the left, but in the copy I'd printed, she was on the right, closer to the edge. I felt sick to my stomach. How could this be? I took another look and my heart raced as I realized she was staring at me, her eyes filled with a chilling intensity. That night I woke up to a cold breeze brushing my face. I sat up, and there she was, standing at the foot of my bed, her face twisted in an unnatural grin. I couldn't breathe. I blinked and she was gone, but the photo lay on my bedside table, now with an added shadow lurking behind the family. I rushed to the attic the next day, desperate to learn more. I found out that the family in the photograph had all died under mysterious circumstances. My heart sank as I realized that the woman was never truly gone. I've since hidden the photo, but every night I can still hear her whispers calling me. I know she's waiting for me to find it again. So what do you think? Are these just stories, or could there be a darker truth lurking behind them? Be careful what you seek. You never know what might be watching you.